I shall be having my co-host.
Oh yes, a very good morning to our viewers and to our fans from wherever you're watching us. I'd like to wish you a happy morning and a very blissful morning. I hope you had a wonderful night. And so, without wasting any further time, thank you very much for joining us through this show and through this episode to be specific. As we'll be going to tackle on the topic, will be about children and their well-being. So basically, we will be delving in to look at the effects the benefits of giving phones to children even the other side effects of giving phones to our children. Thank you very much.
Okay, keep on getting connected to us through YouTube, Gura Podcast, through Facebook, Gura Promo, Gura Media, and things are going to be good. Remember, we support each other to make this journey a success. So today, you have just heard, we are going to talk about children and phones. So when you just hear about children, which are these people which you are talking about? Is it the Alpha? Is it the Gen Z? Which type of children are we talking about? When you just hear about phones, what do you understand about phones? Remember, most of the parents have been portraying this about giving phones to their children is a disadvantage.
Yeah.
It is not only a disadvantage but also an advantage. Don't look at everything being disadvantage. Remember, there are also advantages of that. How these children are using these phones. So, are children allowed to have phones? My friend, are children allowed to have phones?
So far, I don't know if there's any law which says that maybe children are allowed to have phones or not. But basically,
Yeah,
it's only depends on some key factors.
yeah.
And when you're talking about children, basically these are remember, they are not even youths, si watu ambao wamekuwa wakubwa, you get. So they are still ni watu ambao ni dogo, but still their mentality is still growing up, they are growing up to know, okay, so still they are cultivating, yani hapa sasa wanaanza cultivate maybe how they reason, maybe how they interact with others. So basically, when you talk about children, these are people maybe who are even less than 18 years old, kwa sababu tunasema mtu akifika 18 years old huyo ni adult,
Yeah.
So basically they are hata si infants, ni watoto tu ambao they are not there at the age of youth, yani hawako at the age where they can make the right decisions per se, or maybe they can do something useful into their lives, so basically, so back to your question about children allowed to have phones. All I can say is that so far I've never had any law which says maybe children are allowed to have phones or not. But for me, I'll say that it depends on some key factors, and maybe that those key factors, one of them is age. So you find most of the parents, and here I'm talking about the typical African parents, of which, by the way, I'm very proud of. Because Africa is not the same as America or
It is
USA
not.
over there.
Yeah.
So things are different. Even the development of our countries are very different. Our countries are very different, and even the issue of technology. Maybe us here we have 5G. Maybe there they have even 7G. The internet space, the internet speed is very high. So age is also a key factor. So una find like our parents, they are very afraid that easy phones maybe will be exposing these children too many too much it's called that too much exposure to social media. So most of them wanaogopa, like, no, my child, I will not give my phone to my child. For example, me I remember, like, I was never given a phone when ever since I was, so let's say ever since I was born, my own phone. So until when I finished Form 4. And this I can also this also I think it also, unajua pia mimi nilichangia juu nilisema me I don't need a phone, while still I'm studying, unaona. So immediately after nilimaliza Form 4 pa nilienda nyumbani nikazawadiwa na simu, so age is also one of the factors. Another one is also parental decisions. So you find that mostly it's called normally here in Kenya, it's all about parent decision. Because remember, at first niliwaambia hawa watoto still wana grow, still hawana ile mental capacity ile like they can make the right decisions, unaona. So mzazi anaona so at this age still my child ni mdogo, so I have to make decisions for them. Another one is also the school policies. Another factor is also the school policy. So you find as much as unajua mtu maybe akiwa class 8 bado hapo bado haja develop, maybe akiwa high school hapo ndo, maybe akiwa high school hapo form 3 hapo form 4 ndo maybe iko 18 years. So unafanya like also school policies zinachangia. So maybe kuna shule zingine aziruhusu kabisa mtoto atumie simu, unaona, na kuna zingine zinaruhusu mzazi pea mtoto simu like afanye homework ama adu research ama even ama hata waende library watumie laptops ama computers, unaona. So even school policies zinachangia. Thank you.
So thank you very much. I think you're getting me loud and clear from that side. This is Gura Gura podcast where we are talking about children and phones. Remember, being a parent, you have responsibilities and roles to play in that your children, in making that your children. Remember, this is a person you're modeling to become something in the community. And because you're modeling this child, you have to make sure you follow things which are happening to these children. You allow them, today, this is what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
This is not what you're supposed to do. So, I think a parent should not take the decision about other people saying that children should have their mobile phones. You just decide, okay, mine is also going to have.
Yeah.
You have to consider your own decision. If the children is going to have the mobile phones, how are they going to benefit? If yourself, you just decide, now I'm going to give my own children mobile phones. So, what are the limitations which I'm going to give to these children to guide them in their life, so that the life can be good, so that this mobile phone, they cannot be exposed to things which they are not supposed to be exposed to. Remember, we are talking about children. So there are some things in these mobile phones which are supposed to be exposed by children only, and others to children and adults. So now let's look at the advantages and disadvantages of phones to children, where we are going to begin with the advantages. So my co-host can just take us through the advantages of children having mobile phones.
Yeah, so one of the advantages of children having phone is safety and communication. Remember, in this digital world we're living in, unajua nowadays, for example in Kenya, one of the biggest problem we have is unemployment.
Yeah.
So you find that watu wengi huwa wanakimbilia kwenda kutafuta kazi majuu, and most unasikia mtu ameenda kutafuta kazi Saudia. So una find like mzazi anaacha mtoto anaenda kutafuta kazi huko, and by the way, it's not a bad thing, kwa sababu mzazi anaenda kutafuta pesa ya kukidhi mahitaji ya mtoto wake, unaona. Bibi hata ndio hiyo, through hiyo kazi atapata school fees ya kulipia mtoto wake, through hiyo school fees atasomesha mtoto wake, through hiyo kazi atasomesha mtoto wake, through hiyo kazi analisha mtoto wake, unaona. So una find like remember, hapo kutakuwa na a distance barrier of communication kupitia mtoto na mzazi, kwa sababu mzazi atakuwa far away, but through this the use of phones ama internet per se imeweza kumeka communication even more easier. Haijalishi, it doesn't matter at the distance, as much as uko na phone, uko na credit, you can call that person, uko na internet, uko na WhatsApp, unaweza huyo mtu, ama ikiwa ni maybe Instagram, anywhere. So these phones zimeweza kusaidia to assist to make even communication to be much more easy. Another one is also digital skills. Remember, these phones have apps. For example, ukiwa na simu and then there's a YouTube app ama there's Canva app. So these apps zinakusaidia. For example, ukienda Google, in Google you can search anything which is beneficial. For example, unaweza enda pale usearch maybe how to use a photography, and inakupatia hapo the tutorial full lesson. Ama unaenda Canva pale, ukishajua unaenda tu pale Canva. Ama how to make a post, unaenda tu pale Canva, then you start practicing yourself how to make a Canva. Unaanza kujitrain how to make a Canva. Another one is also educational use. Remember, these phones, there is nowadays, you know, there's a matumizi mengi sana ya AI. So this AI, there's also Google Scholar, there's also DeepSeek, there's also Gemini. So these apps have also been very beneficial for children to, like, zinasaidia watoto sana during their research, doing their school research, ama even their homework, ama assignment. So instead ya mtoto kwenda library huko, aenda ngangana kutafuta vitabu maybe for 2 hours, anaenda tu pale it's also good to use kutumia nani kwenda library kutafuta vitabu, but also remember the use of phone imeweza ku make it easier for our children to do research through the use, kwa sababu kuna hizi apps kama ChatGPT, AI, Gemini, kama DeepSeek. So hizo zimeweza kuchangia for education use. Another one is the emergency response. So for example, in case of an emergency, for example, maybe there's a fire breakout ama kumetokea na issue yote, maybe mtu ameshika na ugonjwa wa ghafla bin vu. So remember, easy phones zimeweza ku make communication more easily. So all you have to do is just dial a number na unapiga, instead ya mtu ama wewe mnatuma messenger anakimbia paka tao atukwenda kutafuta nani, kwenda kutafuta sijui fire brigaders, ama anakimbia kwenda paka usi anaenda kuita ambulance ati kuna mtu amepata na emergency. So easy phones zimeweza ku make they very easy for communication, and also zimeweza ku make quick emergency responses in case of any emergency issues. Yeah, thank you. And maybe you can dwell on the disadvantages.
So, thank you. You have just heard about the advantages of these mobile phones to children.
Yeah.
Remember, at some level, where you leave your children back at home, and you are also in a place at work. Remember, children are now back at home. They close their schools very early. They are back at home for the December holiday, and you are there working because most of the people have not yet gone for the holiday. So when you are working, you also need some communication to be able to communicate with these kids. Have they eaten? How is life back there at home? Anything? Are they in the safe position, staying there back at home? So those mobile phones are needed for communication, to be able to communicate with them and know where they are. So now I just want to look at the disadvantages of these mobile phones to children. One of them being about addiction. So remember, these children can be addicted to some type of films and videos they are watching them. Maybe some of them can be building their skills, also training them, also building their skills in education and the rest. But also they can be addicted in a position where you find they cannot be able to communicate with their peers. Unapata mtu kila wakati amezoea mambo ya kisimu pale, kuongea na mtu unapata ako na shida. Kila wakati anataka kukaa indoors because of mobile phones. And also they can be addicted, unapata the time when they are supposed to be sleeping, they are not sleeping because of what? Every time the mobile phone, TikTok, whatever, WhatsApp, YouTube, and the rest of the apps. So that time you find their thinking capacity is very low. Every time is use of mobile phone. Another one is exposure to inappropriate content. We have just talked about this, where parents should be able to limit the type of content which these children are seeing in their mobile phones. So these people can be exposed to content which is supposed to be exposed to adults. Remember, some things are made for adults only and not for children. And children are also supposed to see things concerning education and the life about the children self only. But when you allow these children to be exposed to things which they are not supposed to be exposed to, it is very wrong to them. That's something concerning violence. Utapata tu mtoto ameona because aliona in a certain video. This is anapata this is how we are supposed to deal with these conflicts. Instead of solving them by just speaking, you find they want to bring some conflicts and also fights in solving conflicts. Another one is harmful trends. Remember, there are some things like pornography which are not supposed to be watched by children. And when they are exposed to these things, you will be exposing to them inappropriate content which will be able to destroy how they think and how they socialize with different people in the society. Another one is about cyberbullying. Remember, children can be bullied or become bullies. These people can be bullied. In an example where you find they have been told, press this to be able to acquire 50,000. And these children has been talking about being rich. They have some contents and also some books where they read about being rich. You find in a group they are discussing, when I shall become rich, when I grow up, when I become rich, this is what I shall be able to do. They are saying when I acquire 1 million, this is what I shall be able to do. Then it happens in their mobile phones. Just a pop-up appears on their mobile phones, inquiring them to be able to press something so that they can acquire that amount of money. And you find maybe this child ate some let's say just 1,000 that mobile phone which had been left by his or her parent to be able to maybe use for lunch, because the parent had gone for a work or had gone to another to perform some other duties. Then after pressing that thing which this person has been told to press, that money is lost. Within 1 second the money is lost. So it has changed from the child acquiring the 50k he or she wanted to become rich, to losing the 1k the parent had left for this child. So that one becomes a way of a disadvantage to this child, because huyu mtoto hatakula, atakaa tu kuhisi njaa because of losing the 1k. And also they can also get into other different parts. Unapata mtoto is being trained to become a thief in the using the mobile phones. Anatrainiwa anakuwa mkora wa simu bana. Unapata anaweza call mtu rafiki wake amwambie I need this amount of money. Akiwa amejifanya ni mtu mwingine anataka kupokea pesa fulani. That one is cyberbullying. Another one, online strangers and the predators, risk of manipulation or exploitation. Because you find these are children, someone wants to take the advantage of this one being a children. Inamwambia sijui send this type of picture, do this and this. I shall be doing this. And also they can be able to communicate. You find someone is telling this child, I'm your hango who lives in this place. And remember, most of the children, because of many commitments in their homes, they have not been able to meet all the family members, understand this is my uncle, this is my aunt, this is what and whatever. So you find someone is communicating to them, I'm your uncle, is your father around, is your mother around, anybody around, I want to come back home. Then this child just tells them, they be honest, they tell them nobody is around, so I shall be coming. You just hear, no, there's no problem. I shall come and wait for your parents when they come back at night. Then we communicate. Remember, this child does not know this person, and this person is a stranger to them. When they come, what happens? The house is lowered. Everything is lost. They just come and steal everything from that house. Just because of a silly mistake, a child being left with a mobile phone, communicating, giving an appropriate message. So you find they are being misused by these strangers. Another one is poor social skills, less face-to-face interaction. So you find these children are not communicating face-to-face to other people because they have been introduced to the use of mobile phones. Every time, remember in these holidays, most of the children would say, I want to go and visit my uncle who lives in this place. I want to go and visit my grandpa who lives in a certain place. But this time, they are just introduced to mobile phones where they are communicating with them. You just hear, no, you can just communicate with them and continue living the year. So they are losing the face-to-face, which could be able to build them, which could be able to make them interact with the different people in different areas and know how they live. So after some time, if this person gets a work or is transferred from a certain region to another, remember this person will not, it will take time to cope with the region they shall be going to, because this person hana ule uzoefu wa kuwa katika eneo fulani, na hiyo itakuwa ni shida kwake, because this person has just known every time everything is doing it through mobile phones. Another one is academic decline. Remember, distraction from studies through games and social media. This person maybe was a good person at football. Then you find is there in Dream League. His citizen is just playing there. He's saying, okay, this one is enough for me. I can be able to play it. I just need to play it through by use of mobile phones. So we'll be distracted from going and meeting their friends and play and maybe interact and do some other constructive activities by use of meeting face to face. But when it's just against the social media, it won't be good for this person. So we can just go about restrictions for children with mobile phones as we wind up.
Oh, yeah. I think you have covered the most part of it. But then on the issue of cyberbullying, you know, as a parent, as much as you are busy, you know, we don't blame you for being busy, but please ensure that just try to, it's called that, monitor your children's well-being. You know, it doesn't matter at uko wapi, I'm very busy, si nimeachia house help, siku hizi natoa house manager, si nimeachia house manager atamwangalia mtoto. That child is your responsibility as much as kuna huyo house manager hapo. But remember, huyo house manager, people are different. Maybe ametoka from a very different family background, alilelewa tofauti, and wewe na familia yako and how you are used to bring up your children is very different from how he or she was brought up. So as much as you're busy, just ensure that you monitor your children. And so one of the restriction for children with phones is time limits. In order for you to keep phones used safe and healthy, parents or guardians should, one of the key factors they can be able to set is time limit. So for example, you allow only your child to restrict screen time, maybe to use phones maybe for 1 or 2 hours only per day. And hiyo una ensure no phones, it should not be during meals or homework time or even late at night. So let it be there hapo mchana when you are there, when ambao unaweza kumonitor what they are watching or even what they are looking for. And most of it naonaga, for a child, I think wanapenda sana kuwatch cartoon, unaona. But nowadays dunia sahi nimeona pia people try to conceptualize easy adult content using easy cartoons configurations, unaona. Kuna as much as si cartoon zote ni nzuri na si cartoon zote ni mbaya. So I'm telling you. So as a parent, no matter nakwambia, as a parent, as much as you are busy, just try be there, not be there physically, but you can monitor the content of what your children are watching. Simuona wengine hata wao inaitwa aje, like wana set GPS ama nini hii yenye ambayo unaweza monitor mtoto wako anaangalia nini, unaona. That is very helpful. Imaanisha ati you're not trusting your child, no, but here we want to bring up children mwenye ambao like wako very straightforward ama wako very not basically upright, ama tuseme watoto ambao like wanaweza kuwa kizazi cha kesho ambacho kinaweza hitajika, kizazi ambacho like we can fully depend on them. So another one is also app and content controls. So use parental control apps. Kuna some, there are some apps which you can set as parental control apps. For example, Google, kuna vile unaweza set ikuwe parental control app. So as much as mtoto atakuwa na search some content, so jepe social media huwa ina sana. So kuna some anaweza ona hii kitu and then say acha niende nikasearch. So akienda kusearch huko ataona it's not allowed. So just use parental control. Ensure that hata ukipatia mtoto simu mpatie zile ambazo zina use parental control apps. Another one is block adult or violent content. So on your phone as a parent, watu ni tofauti, unajua. I don't know, sitaki kuenda sana kwa hizo stories za adult content hizo, but ensure before umepatia mtoto wako simu, just block hizo adult and violent content from your phone, then unapatia mtoto simu. And also limit social media until the child is mature enough. Say at this age ukianza kuexpose mtoto wako kwa TikTok, sure, ama Instagram, kwenye ambako unasikia alishaka nini, sijui unapata unaambiwa alishaka nini amefanya ile kitu. Sasa wewe huyo maybe mtoto wako ameenda shule akasikia, jana uliona ile alishaka nini ameunite Kenyans again. Juu hiyo ndio unaga wanapenda kusema sana FB. Alishaka nini alishaka nini ameunite Kenyans again. So mtoto anaweza kuwa curious, aseme ni nini hii alishaka nini amefanya, unaona. Maybe even classmates wake wamwambia nenda kuangalia alishaka nini amefanya nini, unaona. So just ensure una limit hizi social media until usimexpose mtoto wako kwa hizi social media, ama unaweza expose but unajua kuna ile unajua hata mtu akiambiwa like hata ile ukiambiwa like unataka kudip maybe mguu wako kwa maji, kuna gani ile unaanza na kidogo like hata kidogo tu, unaona. But just ensure, take care of your children, safety. Another one is clear rules. Ensure you set clear rules. For example, phones should not interfere with the school or home chores. So as much as unapatia, mostly, for example, mimi I have a small sister, and huwa sipendi kumpatia simu sana, but huwa nikimpatia, na hiyo imaanisha ati because I have some adults, hizo zingine sijui nimeweka ati sijui set patterns for WhatsApp for what. I'm not hiding anything. Sijui nimeset So anyway, people are different. So what am I saying? But huwa nampatia na ensure hiyo simu na nampatia amefanya kazi zake, kama ni assignment tu ameshafanya, na kazi anafaa kufanya kwa nyumba, hata kama ni kuosha vyombo ama nini ashafanya, ndio unampatia simu. Kali sana. Tunaanza kuwa parents saiba. Tunaanza kujiprepare. Another one is also no sharing personal information online. For example, kama what my friend here has said, unapata mtoto anaulizwa ati na stranger. Hello, daddy yuko nyumbani, mami yuko nyumbani. Even some huwa wanakuwa lured in, wanaambiwa weka details zako, jina yako ni nani? Ama babako anaitwa nani? Afa anauliza na ID yake ni gani? Mtoto anasema ajua. Kimbia ndo kaangalia kwa ile sanduku ya mami. Unaweza pata kuna ID hapo uje nisome, unaona. So and also to kumbuka hao watoto hawajui. So hao tu wanasema ni hivi na hivi. A to Z, ABCD. Wow, hawajui like you're not supposed to you're not supposed to share this and this and this. Unaona? So also wewe pia also as a parent fundisha pia watoto wako like online, ama hata ukitumia simu kuna information hii na hiyo fake. For example, mimi nakumbuka nilikuwa naambiwa at first nikiwa na simu, nilikuwa naambiwa usiweke profile, kwa sababu mtu anatachukua hiyo profile yako aende ifanyie mambo mengine huko, maybe aende Photoshop, ushangae umepatikana kijana uko Amerika na wewe sasa uko hapa Kenya nani. Okay. Another thing is also kwa clearing the rules. Setting clear rules ni teach your children ama train your children not to chat with strangers. So kama mtu amjui, hata kama akisema ni anko, unamwambia anko wako ni huyu na huyu, unaona. Ama unaambia mtu kama si kwa hii boma umewaona hapa, hii sofa umelelewa hapa, kama huyo mtu hujaona hapa na amekupigia, usipokee hiyo simu, unaona. Ama
sisi
pia
wenye tuko coast kila wakati unasikia ngo sasa
ni anko tu kwa kuongea peke yake na kwa salamu. Lakini hizi zingine ati mama yuko hiyo haikuhusu tafadhali, hiyo no huko tunaenda mbali. So and also another way you can be able to maybe monitor children is to regular monitoring. Ensure you regular monitoring. For example, like checking the browsing history. Umempatia mtoto simu for maybe 1 to 2 hours, and maybe hiyo saa mzazi anaosha vyombo. So after 2 hours imeisha, unachukua hiyo simu yako unaangalia the browsing history. Okay, ni kitu gani mtu wangu amekuwa akisearch hapa? Unaona? From A to Z, unaona? That is also one way you can monitor. Other one is have an open conversation about online safety. Exactly. I think before and after parents give their children phones, please ensure that you have an open conversation about online safety. I think it will be in a better position kusolve these issues zote ambazo tutakuwa tumeziongelelea hapa hivi. Unaona? So another one is also ensure the child understand the consequences of misuse. Maybe if it's misusing internet, misusing social media platforms, mfundishe, mwambie hivi na hivi. Wewe ukianza kumisuse hivi, ukianza kutumia watu picha zako ovyo, this and this will happen. Ukianza maybe utakuwa pale cyberbullied, unaona? Maybe even you can be kidnapped. Another one is also the physical safety. Avoid carrying phones when crossing roads, cycling or walking alone at night. Fundisha mtoto wako kuwa phones are important, but wakati unapita kwa barabara, when you crossing roads, ama when you're walking alone at night, don't carry your phones. Kwa sababu hapo maybe mtoto atakuwa anangana bado yuko live TikTok, unaona, ana watch videos na hapo anavuka kwa barabara, unaona. So mfundishe wakati unavuka kwa barabara. In fact hata usipatie mtoto simu kama anaenda mahali ama anavuka kwa barabara, unaona. Mpatie simu wakati yuko nyumbani after amemaliza kazi zake. And then after hapo unamonitor. So kama ameomba simu, tayari unamwekea cartoon. Unampatia kiwa na cartoon, unaona. Na so mami ama dada niliambiwa to search hii na hii na hii. Nenda pale Google. Uzuri wa Google is the best scholar. Nenda pale search pale download. Unaonyesha mtoto okay. Hivi na hivi na hivi. Mliambiwa mfanye research ya hii okay, ni hivi nafaa kufanya. Hii swali nafaa kufanywa hivi. And yeah, that's all. And so to our viewers, thank you very much for joining us and for being with us. And please subscribe, share the link with your friends, share the link with your colleagues. relationship for us, between us the hosts and our viewers there, please just comment there, just subscribe, like the videos. So thank you very much. I'd like to my fellow students, just remember December inafika, so work hard, jitume, holiday si mbali, and also usipige sherehe ukasahau masomo. Just remember kitu yenye imekuleta kwa shule, okay? And thank you very much. I would like to share ukuwe na siku njema siku ya leo. Until then, let's meet tomorrow. I've been your host, Patience Maramba.
So thank you very much. Thank you for important for watching us. This is Gura podcast, where we just bring and taste dreams from that side, wherever you are. From this side, we are. We thank you for being working with us from the start of the show. Up to this time, we are ending the show. We only say God is doing it. God is granting us an opportunity. So we have talked about children and mobile phones. Make sure you restrict your children from the use of the mobile phones. Yeah. Baadaye usije ukasema mtoto wangu aliharibiwa na simu. TikTok ndio imeharibu mtoto wangu. No. It is their responsibility.
Exactly.
To do what it is required to restrict these children from the use of mobile phones. So thank you very much for keeping working with us. We thank you. We appreciate you. As my fellow host has just said, enda pale kwenye mtandao wa YouTube, tafuta Gura podcast. Share it, subscribe, follow, comment something, say something about how the show is progressing. And we should be able to create a good relationship with you. So I'm Naiza Junior Sauti Anyikani, the deepest voice in the coastal region. Where we just get connected to you through different parts of the show. Remember kuna kuburudika pale kutoka mwendo wa saa 1 hadi saa 3. Kuna vipindi vya happy birthday hapa tunavifanya hapa. Kuna mambo na interviews hapa tunafanya moja kwa moja, and also some discussions.